And what are the basic tenets and beliefs of the Boogaloo movement?
Well, the belief is that you have to prepare for it and you have to defend yourself proactively and be engaged in the fight, and that the time is upon us.
The fight against who?
Fight against the government.
And why?
Well, because in complete collapse of society, everybody will need to defend themselves, and the government will be trying to maintain control of you.
You talked about the idea that this is a civil war, and what's meant by that?
Well, as the defendants describe it, you'll be fighting against your fellow citizens, some of them who are FUDs or bootlickers or preppers, or you'll basically be engaged in combat against those who don't believe the same as you.
Does the FBI classify this as an extremist ideology?
Yes, it does.
And how do you know the information that you're giving us today about the Boogaloo?
Well, through my training experience, through what I know about domestic terrorism, and then primarily through monitoring this group for the last 7 months, it's been a frequent topic of discussion.
Does the Boogaloo movement advocate for violent felonies?
It does.
Is the Boogaloo movement violent?
Your Honor, I guess I'm going to object only for purposes of, is this an educational lesson here, or is this pertaining to our actual clients? There's been, and I understand the court needs to be educated on what's going on, and I understand the parameters of that, but for the record, I want to make sure it's clear, are we getting a lesson in what this is all about? Or is this actually relevant to our clients and actions they actually did? And that's my concern. We're getting this generalization, and I want to make sure that we're actually talking about our clients and not what these terms mean in general terms.
I'm getting there, Judge. I'm trying to lay a foundation at this point.
As long as the record's clear that up to this point, this is all educational for the court, then that's my objection. So the record's clear on the testimony.
Educational in that I'm laying the foundation, Judge.
Well, number one, I need education. I always need education. So there's not a problem with that. There's already been testimony that the Wolverine watchman ascribed to the tenets of Boogaloo, and I suspect we're going to be getting into the actions or alleged actions of the Wolverine watchman. And in order to, shall I say, understand the intent of those actions, I think that understanding a philosophy to which apparently it's alleged the defendant subscribed to, I think is an appropriate area of inquiry. Plus, in addition to that, I need to be educated.
Thank you, Your Honor. Does the Boogaloo advocate for violent felonies that are dangerous to human life?
Yes, it does.
Is the Boogaloo politically motivated?
Yes, it is.
And are there visual images associated with the Boogaloo?
Yes, there are.
Tell me about those.
One of them is an igloo, and the term big igloo is a play off the term Boogaloo. It's a way to talk about it without being censored online or the government knowing. There's also Hawaiian shirts, and they also refer to it as the big luau, which is another play off term, the term Boogaloo.
Hawaiian shirts?
Yes.
And Hawaiian patterns?
That's correct. Flower patterns.
Okay.
That's a mockery of the uniform worn by redcoats, which is what the Boogaloo movement views the government as redcoats or Nazis. So they like to mock the government uniform.
Okay. Now, does the Boogaloo movement ascribe to sort of the American Revolution or anything related to the founding of this country?
Yeah, so the Boogaloo would heavily recruit from what they call constitutionalists, which are those, and they refer to the founding fathers, and then they'll base some of their ideology on what they believe the founding fathers want for the United States.
Thank you. So based on your monitoring in the course of this investigation, did the three individuals seated in the courtroom today ascribe to the Boogaloo ideology? And tell me how you know that.
Sure. So I'll go through them one by one. So Pete Musico ascribed to the Boogaloo ideology. He stated numerous times that he was ready for the boog to happen and he was ready to die for it.
What's the boog?
The boog is, I'm sorry, it's short for Boogaloo. So it's a slang reference that they would use often during training and communication.
Is the
I
boog?
I apologize to everyone. Apparently, my mic is not working. And I've been advised that they need to take a break to hopefully remedy the situation. So
All the other testimony has been heard. It's just that your mic, we can barely hear it, but it's not enough for what we need to do.
recreation. Okay. How much time do you think you need?
I would hope just very briefly,
Maybe 10 minutes?
that would be perfect.
I'm sorry, folks. Technical glitch.
Where you go.
Yeah.
See, they are able to hear this. The senators.
Okay.
Do you see movement on that? Yeah. Then text me or call me. Check 1 2 1 2 check 1 2 test. Check. Test 1 2. Check.
Dawn said she.
What?
Someone wants to talk into
Yep.
it, I can let you know.
But you might have to be recording though. I don't know.
I'm not-
Okay, gotcha. Check 1 2 just test.
But we're not.
Yep.
It is now 11:18. I tell you what, Sarah, weather-wise, March is working out so far so good.
Hey, it's only the second day, but I'm liking it. This sunshine has been wonderful, and I think Betsy Kling has got some more signs of springtime hope in the forecast, too.
We never say we like the weather in early March. Late
sorry.
March can
Don't
be
get too
very,
comfortable.
very bad to
Forgot.
us sometimes, and even April. So yeah, we're in for the long haul. So what we're gonna say is enjoy it while we have it, right? We know that certainly. Lots of sunshine around for the morning tomorrow. We'll be in the low 30s to begin the day, making it into the mid and upper 40s for the afternoon. So we'll be warmer tomorrow. It's gonna be short-lived though. Let's take you through the forecast. Southwest winds continuing to hold the temperatures up around the freezing mark right now. I don't see our temperatures falling off all that much more as we go through the night. So maybe a couple upper 20s here and there, but the southwesterly winds should really help us out. Notice the wind flow. I love these charts with these streamlines. This is basically your surface winds flowing in this direction. The brighter the lines, the tighter they're packed, the faster the wind is blowing. So it's kind of a lazy, gentle southwesterly breeze that's feeding up into this area of low pressure just south of Hudson Bay. Meanwhile, in the northern lakes and the northern plains, that north wind is kicking in. That is behind a cold front, the front of colder air. That cold front will be swinging through. And more importantly than the cold front, even though it's bringing us cooler air by the time we hit Thursday, will be the wind direction, because that wind is going to be coming off of the lake. And that is not exactly a warming wind for us, especially with the ice cover still present on the lake. So a cold front will sweep in, but before it does, we should get a nice kick in temperatures as we head through the day tomorrow. National Design Mar hour-by-hour forecast, daybreak temperatures right here in the low 30s. We're going to see some sunshine. The southwesterly winds continue for us. That should help to propel the temperatures into the upper 40s by midday, maybe even some low 50s, especially farther south, so some bonus degrees here. But by the time we get into the afternoon, the wind switch starts to take place. That's going to immediately cool off the lakeshore areas, and as that front